Hello and welcome to episode 37, where we finally, after all this time, have a bit of a shorter episode. A bit over 30 minutes, so it's much shorter than the hour-long episodes that I've had before this. And the reason for that is obviously the races fit very well within this episode, the amount of races that I did. And also I'm cooking up something special for the episode after this, so hope you look forward to that one. In the meantime, we'll just have you with a little bit of a shorter episode, which is hopefully fine for you guys as well. Now let's get into the points ranking where we left off. We have 5,700 points right now. We're in 11th in the team ranking. An excellent episode in the previous one where we had plenty of race victories, or well, race results I should say, and we're hoping to get the same here, but this is an episode full of mountains, as we have first the Tour de l'Ain. 3 mountain stages here, first of all, 2 mountain stages here for us, and 1 flat stage, but also plenty of hills within that one. Look at that third one, that is where the general classification will be made. We're hoping to perform there, of course. Next up, we have the Czech Tour, once again, the first stage being rather flat, but the other 3 absolutely horrendous here in the mountains. Obviously, I'm bringing Christoph Kroll, the home rider for this race, and I'm hoping for him to do well. I doubt that he can survive these mountains, but maybe Baptiste Gregard or Diego can do something there. And last but certainly not least, we have a day stage here, a French day stage here in La Polynormande, where I'm bringing obviously our French riders as well, and Severy Savakovsky. An uphill finish there, maybe one for Adrien Viol or Noah Isidore. We'll have to see as we get into the Tour de l'Ain right away here, the first of 3 stages, which is rather flat, and again hoping to do well here with our sprinters in this first stage. Let's see how we will do.
Hello and welcome. It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
I don't think we will be those opportunities with a bit of daring, but we never know as we send out Florian Carpentier. No, just joking. Of course, I'm not going to send out Florian. I'm sending out Diego Casaniga, and that is because there are mountain points here at the beginning of this stage and throughout this stage. Maybe I can get a mountain jersey here with him, or do an upset here for the other riders. You never know. I'm hoping for an Italian rider to finally get some good results here in this stage. And you see a lot of Korean riders here once again, giving the other riders some opportunities as well here in these stages and in these tours. We obviously have some of our best riders with Adrien Viol and Florian Carpentier here with us, but you know, trying to get some good results with others as well, as Diego does not make it all the way towards the finish. He was in a breakaway for a while, but obviously got caught very closer towards the end, so no opportunity there for him. As we move now towards the last 6 kilometers of this race, our sprint train not looking very strong here. We're getting a bit shuffled in with the other teams. You see me also struggling with trying to get the pace up. Diego also having some issues somehow with his forward momentum, as he still had red energy bar left. I don't know what is happening here with the team, as we only have less than 3 kilometers remaining. This should be perfect actually for Adrien Viol, as we lead out here rather early with the sprint, a little bit of an uphill section, and I launch with the train here. Only a couple riders remaining here at the front. Adrien Viol looking positioned very, very well here with less than a kilometer remaining. The inside of the corner here looking to be the perfect exit position towards the finish line, and he has the most energy left, the best legs remaining here for our French rider. A perfect start here in this French Tour as well, as we get across the finish line as first. A great result here for our French sprinter. I don't think he will maintain the lead that we will get thanks to this sprint for the other 2 stages, but you know, there's a chance as we have the is this? There we go, guys. We're on the podium in the Tour de France. This is actually it. This is a Tour de France stage, and we definitely just won it. I have no idea why they have this podium here with the Tour de France stickers on it, but you know, I'm gonna say in the episode title now that we definitely made it on a podium at the Tour de France or something similar like that. Obviously not the case. We won the first stage of the Tour de l'Ain, however, which is a great result here for us. 5th for Florian Carpentier and 2 other riders of us within that top 20 as well. So we have 4 riders in that top 20. A great result here for the team. And it also shows in the general classification. As you can see here, Adrien Viol obviously in first in this race. So great result here for him, winning this first stage of the Tour de l'Ain. Obviously we'll try to keep him safe for the other stages, but I do think that they are too hilly and too mountainous for him to really get good results there. Maybe one for Florian Carpentier, our other French rider who has been doing well, or maybe one for the Korean riders. Again, I'm also hoping Diego will do well, but he has not been performing excellently here in these hilly stages. He does have the mountain jersey here. Apparently he got a bunch of mountain points, but I didn't really feel like putting it in. I mean, there's still two stages remaining. They will be very difficult here for Italian rider, unless he does an upset and then somehow manages to keep it. We'll have to see. As we head into the second stage here, plenty more mountains ahead for us. Let's see what we can do here and who survives until the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. A mountain terrain that commands respect, and only a strong man will have what it takes. It's certainly not a task for weak or ill-prepared riders.
And we are not looking super great here with Diego with a -2, so for the weak riders, it will be tough, and I think it will be one for Diego that will be very, very tough here in this race. He is one of our main men here with the best mountain stats here in this team that we brought, so we'll have to see where we will end up, to be honest. I will sit up here in the peloton, defend Adrian Vial and Diego Casaniga, and we'll just try and survive here towards the end. I think that will be tough enough already. Look at those mountains in between. I don't think Adrian Vial will make it here towards the end. He is much more of a sprinter, so a tough race ahead here for us today. That is for sure. As we head now towards the last 9 kilometers of this race, you see Hong, Heo, Van Strijten already off the peloton, but who is still up front here? It is Diego in the mountain jersey, Florian Carpentier, who I think is wearing the young riders jersey, and Adrian Vial, surprisingly, the yellow jersey here in this race, surviving here in these mountains. Still 6 kilometers remaining. We survived the most difficult mountains, actually, and this little ledge upwards is not the most difficult part anymore of this race. So there's a good chance that we can bring Vial all the way towards the end of this race. It flattens out there towards the end, as Diego obviously cannot keep up with this tempo. 5 kilometers remaining. Florian still the lead-out man here for Adrian. We don't want to push him too hard here. We need him for those last couple of kilometers here to lead out our sprinter and maybe get another top result here in this French Tour. I think the third stage will definitely be too difficult for him, but there's a good chance here for us to get a good result in the earlier 2 stages. I'm hoping the other sprinters here have already given up. We're unable to follow him. Vial will be one of the only riders remaining. We get a little bit behind here, though, in the last kilometer. A little bit behind of these other riders, but Vial just way too strong here, our French rider. Incredible result here once again in the French Tour here in the Tour de l'Ain. Stage 2, also the victim of Adrian Vial. Another first place here for him. 20 seconds, or 20 bonus seconds, I guess, in total for our French rider that we will try and defend in the third stage, which will be much more mountainous. But for now, 2 trophies, 2 bouquets of flowers, and an excellent result here for our French rider. I think something to be very happy with. I did not expect him to survive all the way towards the end. Florian, I expected a little bit more here. Maybe Diego, obviously, because of his mountain prowess. But definitely not our sprinter here. And getting a first place here with him is another fantastic result as well. So really, really good job here by the team. Really, really good job here by our French sprinter. Our newest signee, one of our newest signees here, performing extremely well this year. Diego, another new signee, not performing as well. As you see here, Adrian still in the lead of the general classification, 18 seconds ahead now of number 2. So that is the lead that we will try to defend here in this race. Diego 4.5 minutes behind Adrian Vial as well. So a poor result here for the remainder of our riders. Florian also moving down a couple of positions here in this race. So our French rider here, the only real chance for us to get a good result here in the general classification. But again, that third stage will be killing, as we have 2 riders in the top 3 here of the young riders. So pretty good result there for us, at least in these first 2 stages. And last but certainly not least, it is the mountain stage of the Tour de l'Ain. And once again, I don't think Adrian Vial will survive this, but we will do our best and try to get him towards that finish line.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This morning, some of the riders were carrying wide smiles. It goes without saying that it was neither the sprinters nor those who prefer the flat. Yes, it was the climbers. And the reasons were obvious. With today's conditions, the spotlight will be on them.
Oh, and look at the conditions of our riders today. -3 for Diego, -2 for Adrian. So really poor statistics for our riders as well. Florian also a -1, Van Strijten a -3. So
Look out!
the
he's
riders
getting
where
away.
I would have expected to perform today will definitely not do that in this race. Again, the hill, or the mountain I should say at the end, will take its toll on our riders. I would have bet on Diego here to do a good job to try and, you know, survive that mountain. Maybe our other riders can help Adrian move up that mountain as well to try and survive. Max gradient of almost 13%, a 7% average here in this race. As we head now into the last 4 kilometers of this race, riders are ahead of us. Adrian somehow managing to stick on the wheel of Diego. I have no idea how our French rider is surviving for this long here in this race. As you see the yellow bar now finally done for both riders. Somehow Adrian has done excellently here in this race, has basically followed Diego as well with his energy here, which is very surprising. I wish I had a bit more riders left here towards the end that could have helped our riders out, but this mountain stage was just too difficult here for us today, and it will just be a slug towards that finish line. Again, 1.5 kilometers remaining for the riders up front, and so no chance here for us to get a good result. You see here also Diego now reaching the finish line 16 minutes behind the number 1, so a poor result here from our riders. Vial, actually, look at him. It's being so close here to our Italian rider. Can he jump the line here towards our Italian rider towards the end? No. The energy runs out, and Adrian finishes here as 39th. Probably around 17 minutes here behind the number 1. So a very, very poor result here for us. While we have this 19-year-old here that seems to be really, really strong, but sadly has a contract until 2028. So no chance for us here to get this French rider who seems so strong here, riding here for Lotto. So obviously Paul César, who is having an incredible year as well in the Tour in real life, and here we have our riders 16 and 17 minutes behind the number 1. We drop down immensely. Diego somehow moving up in the general classification. 3 riders in that top 40, I guess. But, you know, no riders here in the number 1. Adrian Vial at least wins the green jersey, so that's positive for us. That'll bring home a little bit of money. And we end up in 11th in the team classification as well. Nowhere in the mountain and the young riders because of that poor time result here in the end. And again, was kind of expected, was hoping for Diego to do a little bit better here in this stage, but that is what it is. Now let's move on here to the Czech Tour. Starting off with a flat stage here, the prey for Christophe Krol, and maybe in the other stages we have Baptiste Grégoire with us to perform. Let's see how we will do.
It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
And I don't think the breakaway will make it today. Krol also looking extremely strong today. Look at him with a +2 here in the statistics. We'll defend him obviously for today's race. Make sure that he is protected. Make sure that he can deliver as good of a sprint here towards the end. Because again, this one will definitely end up in a mass sprint. I don't think there will be much of a chance here for any of the other riders. As the next couple of days will be mountains and mountains galore. So that will be too tricky here for the remainder of these sprinters, and they'll want to get a mass sprint here in the first stage of the Czech Tour. Obviously, we were hoping for Christophe Krol to perform here, as you know, it is his home tour, so we are leading him out here with 8 kilometers to go. Our mountain riders, obviously the first riders to suffer here in this lead-out train, as they are the riders that, you know, will not do well here in the mass sprint, and then they can save themselves for the remainder towards the finish line. So that is totally okay, as we just try to make sure that we line up Christophe Krol. As we lose the sprint train a little bit here, you see Hong all the way up front, but where is the rest of our train? Not looking as great here. 3.5 kilometers to go. Hyun Suk Kim, with his experience, fights himself back towards the front, picked up the remainder of the train here and leads us towards the front of the peloton. We are fighting for position here in this stage. We're trying to move forward towards that finish line. 1 kilometer remaining here. Krol sprinting from the wheel from Baptiste Grégoire, but he's so far in the back, there's no real chance for him to get a good victory here. Has to pass too many riders, and a second place here in the end, just in front of his countryman for Christophe Krol. A second place here in the first stage of the Czech Tour. Not too bad of a result. Obviously, we wanted that win. I think he is the better sprinter here in this peloton, but he was just too far behind other riders here. Had to pass too many other riders in the peloton to get a top result, and the second place it is here for our Czech rider in the Czech Tour. So not too bad of a start here, honestly, but once again, the Czech rider of ours will definitely not make it towards that podium place in the general classification for the remainder of this race. We're hoping here, once again, for Baptiste Grégoire or Diego to perform in this stage. And Diego actually, or Baptiste, sorry, currently in 10th. Not losing any time here towards the remainder of these riders, which is a pretty good result here for us. Heyo in 13th as well at the moment. He will suffer in these stages as well as we head on to the second stage, where we have an uphill finish here, a very, very steep uphill finish. And this is where I'm hoping for Baptiste or Diego to shine once again.
Hello to one and all. The profile of today's course favors climbers. The others are going to have to make an early breakaway and build up a good lead if they want to win. However, it has to be said that their chances of doing so are slim, if not non-existent.
I fully agree with the commentator for this one, as Diego actually has fantastic statistics today. Baptiste Grégoire also looking quite strong in today's race.
In all probability, it won't come to much, but who knows?
Exactly like the commentator said in the beginning, the breakaway gets away here rather early. Wishing them well, because I don't think they will make it all the way towards the end here. Obviously, we'll try to make sure that Christophe Krol survives towards the end here, but that mountain will be much too difficult here for our riders. So we'll just position our mountain riders here in the peloton, prepare for that final mountain at the end of this stage, and make sure that we get as good of a result as possible here today. Try to move up in the general classification with our riders. We'll try and see what is possible here, as Christophe Krol still hangs on to the peloton. Actually, 85 riders remaining, so it hasn't been too tough here for our riders. The last 5 kilometers seem horrid as the energy starts dropping rather quickly. Other riders are sprinting forward here in the peloton, trying to get their positioning, make sure that they are in the front, trying to make sure to outpace any of the other riders. You see a lot of Jumbo and a lot of UAE actually in this peloton, as well as Diego already loses his energy. The statistics not good enough for him here in this race. I'm also letting Christophe Krol go, as Baptiste will be the rider that we will bet on as we try to position here in this peloton, try to survive, because there's still 2.5 kilometers remaining. It's still very, very long here towards that finish line. We don't want to waste too much energy here. We still need to make it all the way towards the end. Try to get positioned as well as possible as riders drop off the back more and more. We just try to sit up here in the peloton, try to survive with a little bit over a kilometer remaining, but Baptiste has no energy remaining, no way for him to get towards the front here in this race. Diego as well, no energy remaining. He tried his best, both of our riders tried his best, but I don't think there will be much of a chance for a victory here. As you can see, the riders in front already getting across the finish line.
And it's a superb sprint win for Vingegaard.
Oh,
the race is run, but
I guess we're battling against Vingegaard in this race, so that does make sense. One of the best climbers in the world that we're battling against, and you know, obviously too difficult to beat here for us, as Christophe Krol also gets across the finish line a little bit later here in this race. A second place so far in the first stage, a 37th place in the second one as a best result, as Jonas Vingegaard moves all the way up into first here in the Czech Tour. Again, very, very mountainous, so it's no surprise that the Danish rider here is with us in this tour, beating everyone once again. It is also expected, to be honest, as he is just an incredible rider here. So he will be very, very difficult to beat. I don't think we will have any chance here. We'll just try and do our best to get into a top 10, but look at the riders here and in the general classification. I think it will be incredibly difficult one as we head into another very mountainous stage here in stage number 3 of the Czech Tour. Let's see if we can do a little bit better here with Baptiste Grégoire or Diego.
Today, it will be the climbers who have any chance of victory.
Yeah, the climbers have the best chance for victory here in today's stage, and we are battling some of the best here as well, with Jonas Vingegaard and many other really, really good climbers. So I don't think that we will really do very well here in today's stage. I'm sending out Kim Sung-bom as he has very, very poor statistics, and I'm hoping that somehow, some way, they'll just kind of let him go and try to, you know, not chase after our Korean rider too much, and maybe he'll make it towards the finish line. But once again, it is a race for the climbers, so I don't think they will make it all the way towards the finish line. As we head now to 3 kilometers before the finish line, where the front group has gotten away from us. It was too difficult for our riders, as you can see. A lot of riders in front of us, so it will just be a race for Baptiste Grégoire to catch up to as many riders as he possibly can here in today's stage. Too difficult for our riders for sure. As you see, a lot of our other riders, Diego as well, with KoRail 8 minutes currently behind the peloton. Baptiste, our best positioned rider, only 3 minutes between quotation marks, only 3 minutes behind the number 1, as Vingegaard is attacking here on the final climb, and he will for sure get across the finish line once again as first. A rider that is just impossible to beat here for our riders, for the quality of riders that we have in our team at this moment. I don't know if next year, if we ride the Tour de France, fingers crossed of course, if we would have a chance of beating him. But for now, I think Baptiste Grégoire, the best rider in our team in the mountains, I would say, getting across the finish line here as 29th, the best result that we can get here today. Almost 4 minutes behind Jonas Vingegaard. A great result here for him. Once again, look at the top 10 here in the general classification. They are looking incredibly strong. A lot of really good riders here. Much better than the ones that we brought in today's tour. So there's no surprise here that we are this low in today's tour, struggling in today's tour as well, with our Korean riders especially not even getting close, I think, to the statistics that they have. So we're trying our best here, but it's just a struggle here in this Czech Tour. Really difficult here for us. A lot of mountains. We're just trying to get as good a result as possible. Once again, maybe some victories here for Christophe KoRail. That is the best that we can do. It is his home race, but he is not a mountain rider, of course, so the sprints is what we need to get a victory in. And this might actually be one for Christophe KoRail with the hills here towards the back. He has been surviving the mountains and hills relatively well recently. I'm hoping for another victory here, or another good result, I should say, here for our Czech rider in the last stage of the Czech Tour.
The route is fairly hilly, so there should be plenty of action. The race will take place in beautiful sunny conditions.
At least the weather has cleared up here in today's race. Christophe KoRail looking really good once again today with a +2. A lot of hills here in the beginning and a lot of them towards the end as well. So we will sit in the peloton and try to survive, try to make sure that our riders get towards that finish line, and even setting some of our mountain riders up here to make sure that they can protect other riders as well. Maybe trying to go for an attack here with Baptiste Grégoire, you know, maybe trying to move up in that general classification. We are almost 5 minutes behind Vingegaard, so you know there should be a good chance for us to be let go here, but the breakaway up ahead is already away. They already have a bit of a gap as well, and with the mountains to come, I don't want to waste too much energy here from our riders, so we will just sit back in the peloton. And now with 8 kilometers left to go, we have 2 riders remaining in that peloton. Diego obviously trying to lead Christophe KoRail towards that finish line. All we need to do is make sure that we get across the mountain. We are in the most difficult part here of that mountainous area, as the energy gels have been used. The riders up front are jumping away here. I'm trying to just make sure that Christophe KoRail gets towards the top of this mountain, tries to get towards the front of this peloton, because after this it is a downhill race, and that means that Christophe can use his downhill statistics to try and move forward here in the peloton and sprint towards a good result. We are still together in the peloton somehow, as there are riders obviously more towards the front of this race. 5 kilometers remaining. We are in that downhill section here. Other riders of our team are getting passed now, getting lapped basically here in this race, as we have some other riders also trying to jump away here, trying to attack in this race, with Christophe KoRail trying to move forward as much as possible. The podium place is in sight here for our Czech rider in this last stage of the tour. 1 kilometer remaining, trying to sprint relatively early here, trying to move forward here, but he is just too tired. The mountains and hills have done too big of an impact on our Czech rider, and he gets across the finish line here as a 4th. A tough result here for a Czech rider. The mountains and hills just too difficult here for him. A 4th place is the best that we can do. A 2nd and 4th place here with our Czech rider in the Czech Tour. Still something that I think we can be happy with. It is not really our terrain. We could have done a little bit better there in the first stage, of course, but a 4th place is something to be happy with here with our Czech rider. Baptista Gorg ending up in 32nd in the general classification in the end. The remainder of our riders are lower than that, of course. Just too difficult here for us. Obviously no chance for us to beat a Jonas Vingegaard in a race like this, so... yeah, not really the results that we want. Obviously we want to fight for those top 10 positions, for those podium positions, but yeah, this too difficult for us. The quality of the riders was too high here, and it just shows that we might not be ready for a World Tour race yet. Let's see if we can do a little bit better here in La Polynormande, which are plenty of hills here, an uphill finish, so it should be one for Noah Isidore or one of our other French riders.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton. The race will take place in beautiful weather conditions.
As Adrian actually looks incredibly strong here today as well. Noah Isidore as well. Look at those +3s. And if they will struggle towards the end, then at least maybe we will have a Severi as well. So we have 3 riders that I do believe in that can do incredibly well here in today's race. Owen Cole, also one of those riders where I would normally say he would do well in today's race, but his statistics are not as good today. So he will help defend our riders towards the end, make sure that we can deliver a perfect uphill finish here with some of our riders. The remainder of our riders also being more of a lead-out riders here in today's stage. As we end up now 9 kilometers towards that finish line, there's riders up ahead, about a minute ahead is the front group, and we are just in that downhill section, so we need to push on relatively hard here in this race if we want to get a top result here. Obviously there's still that mountainous section in those last 2 kilometers where they will lose a lot of energy if they push, and maybe we can catch up even more there in that area. But that's not really what we want. We want to make sure that we can deliver our riders up front, not really battle for a 5th place here or battle for the remainder, but gamble it on a little mountain hill here towards that finish line, because if we gamble wrongly, then obviously we will lose out on a lot of points and a possible victory here for the team. So we push on very, very hard here. Only 2 kilometers remaining. The kilometers are flying by as we enter that uphill section. We are catching more and more riders, but still 30 seconds ahead of us are the top rider, 45 seconds ahead of us even. And I sent out our riders to sprint relatively early to try and catch up as much as possible, but the rider, Hugo Page, impossible to catch up on, too strong here in today's race, and we get a 2nd and 3rd place with our French riders. So a French podium, 3 riders of the French nationality on the podium here in this one-day French race. A really good result here, to be honest, still for us. Severi also getting across the finish line here as 7th, Joseph as 11th, 4 riders in a top 15. 2 riders in the top 3. Really, really satisfied with this result. I'm surprised by Adrian, to be honest, as this would be more of the terrain by Noah Isidore, but he has been doing incredibly well here also in the race earlier. These French races probably give him a little bit more motivation as a young rider, and he was able to sprint all the way towards a 3rd place. An incredible result here by the team. I'm sure that we'll gain a lot of UCI points here for our riders in today's race. Only 2 additional victories here with the team. Sadly, no great results there on our end, but Adrien Vial gaining those 2 victories. A lot of 2nd places though, and obviously the 3rd place as well for Adrien Vial to win that last race. We do actually move up 2 places thanks to the points that we got. We are now 5 points ahead of Arkea B&B hotels, and still have plenty of or only 8 points behind Groupama, so we passed one French team and are actually rather close to another French team as we keep moving up here in the team ranking, creating a bigger gap towards the riders behind us. A really good result here for us. The team itself, obviously no big jumps except for Noah Isidore and Adrien Vial, especially Adrien Vial. Look at him passing Christophe Krol here in the points. I would have expected Christophe Krol to get a little bit higher in the points here as well with that 2nd and 4th place, but sadly no big gain here for him. The stage results here not giving that many UCI points, so that kind of just is what it is, as Noah Isidore increases his lead on Paul Fietske once again in this episode. That's it for today's episode. Once again, a little bit of a shorter one, but I hope you guys still enjoyed. I'm still cooking something up for the next one, so I'm hoping you guys are looking forward to that. And yeah, see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.